Banded together from remote galaxies are 13 of the most sinister villains of all time, the Legion of Doom. Dedicated to a single objective, the conquest of the universe. Only one group dares to challenge this intergalactic threat.
What is up, everybody? It is Friday night, the Transformers IDW Livio special. Welcome to 3 Men in the Basement. I'm your host, Otto, coming to you live and direct from Moonbase Alpha. And if I am Megatron and I've taken over this base, not only do I have Roger Levesque, a.k.a. Starscream, with me.
Starscream.
Wow. That's pretty good, right?
I guess I'll take it.
All right. Straight out of Jersey, we have running the show, Soundwave himself, Nemesis Prime. Say what's up.
What's going on, everybody? I'm pretty excited about this show. We got a very big guest. Why don't you introduce him?
Absolutely. So if we are all Transformers, Unicron himself, Mr. Livio Ramondelli, all the way from the West Coast. Livio, thank you very much for joining us on 3 Men in the Basement in the Grotto. It is our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, man. Unicron, let's live up. I'll try.
Okay, we like that. We like that here. So before we get started, we want to pay some bills.
Okay.
And get some things over with and talk about some of our sponsors. So we're going to talk about our good friends at Rocket Comics. They got a lot of things coming up. Rocket Comics is your one-stop shop for all CGC signature series, any show, comic book pressing, cleaning, you know what it is. If you mention 3 Men in the Basement on your first initial submission of any amount of books, whether it's 2 books or 10 books, you're going to receive 20% off the total invoice, right? So you want to send a bunch of books to them, have them cleaned up, then get them out to your shows, especially to all their on-site gradings. Returning customers will get 10% by using our code 3MIB. So remember that. Rocket Comics has got a lot of shows coming up. And the first, they're going to be in Costa Mesa this weekend, I believe. Mm-hmm. But they've got another big show coming up at C2E2, which is, I guess, the big con of the season because, Livio, you are going to be at C2E2.
I will be there. I can't wait. Yeah. Kicking off the 2020 season.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, guys, we just want to know if anybody has questions for Livio. We, of course, it's a great opportunity for Livio to jump on. I've been a fan of him for quite a while. I brought a couple sketches to show off. We're here to talk about Transformers. We're here to talk about his career at IDW, as well as his new book, The Kill Lock, which just came out. So, Everett, why don't you start off with some questions for Livio?
Yeah,
and I'll be monitoring the chat if you guys have anything.
Right. So Livio and I had this conversation Wednesday night. So I'm talking to him, and I'm seeing I got some Star Trek things in the back. I got some Star Wars figures, and I started reading. Roger, you want to pull that second book? I started reading these books. I actually met you at Baltimore, and you were real cool. We talked about getting a commission. I was pretty excited for that. And then when I found out you were doing Transformers stuff, I picked up the Transformers Galaxy, all right? The Constructicons Rising. And the stuff is phenomenal, man. And what is your favorite Transformer to draw? Can I ask you that real quick?
Yeah, totally. My favorite is probably, I would say Optimus Prime and Soundwave are my two favorites, which is unusual because in most big stories, the main central hero is not my favorite. Like Luke Skywalker is not my favorite Star Wars character. But
who is it?
I love Luke, but I mean, I think I tend more to go toward Vader,
Yeah.
But in Transformers, there's something about Optimus Prime that just seems like just it feels like an honor to get to draw that character. Like he meant so much to me growing up. And then my next 6 favorites are all Decepticons, like Soundwave, Vader, like the new Transformers series I'm doing is like really cool because it's a very Constructicon heavy.
Right.
And Devastator is one of my favorites. I get to do some big stuff with him. So yeah.
And when we were talking about age and stuff like that, I brought up Shogun Warriors a little bit before your time. So, but when Transformers really went nuts for me is when the animated cartoon came out. Do you remember
absolutely.
That? Oh yeah.
Like we could all say that. When I first put that in, I remember sitting at my buddy's house, at Mono's house, 14 or 15 years old. The cheesy 80s music comes out, which was great. You're watching it, and then all of a sudden, Megatron invades the Autobots and starts laying out like Ironhide and everything, and you're just like, oh my God. And then the scene between Grimlock when the Dinobots got run down against Devastator.
Yeah, that movie's incredible. That movie's like a real war movie. Like, it really is. They do not pull their punches in that opening like 30 minutes. Yeah.
So, Livio, in Transformers, you are the artist.
Yeah.
But in Kill Lock, which we're going to talk about in a little while, you are the writer and the artist.
Yeah.
Right? Can I ask you a little bit about your background? When did you start enjoying to draw? When did you get a passion for it, because I think a lot of people that listen to us are independent comic book artists and people who have skills that they want to enhance and stuff like that. So formal training, self-taught, let's get to know Livio right now.
Sure, of course. Yeah. It's a bit of both. I think like any of us who like grew up drawing or likes drawing, it's an ongoing process, like even if you go to school, you don't come out finished, right? Like you're still going to constantly learn. So I'm both. I was drawing my whole life. I was drawing Transformers, Star Wars since I was a kid. Later on, I went to an art school in San Francisco called the Academy of Art, which was an awesome school. Like we had teachers that would work at Pixar during the day and come teach us that night.
Oh,
so it was like, awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. Like one of my teachers was the art director on Wall-E. So he would come home, he'd come to the class and be like, "Here's what we did in Wall-E today." So it was like amazing. Like I learned a lot, and then I had two really kind of lucky things happen to me. That I was looking to kind of get an in-house concept art job because I thought that was a stable, way to make a living and still draw. And ironically, I got hired by Jim Lee at Wildstorm, who's like one of my absolute heroes growing up, because they were doing this DC Universe game, so they needed an crew of artists. So it was really funny that I had got like a kind of a concept art video game movie job, and I got hired by Jim Lee, who was a hero of mine in comics. Like, it's kind of funny how and then that led me on the whole like experience in the convention circuit of going to Artist Alley, and that's what led to Transformers, where I basically was selling prints of Transformers, and I met Chris Ryle at IDW, and he gave me his card, and that led to Transformers. So
was that a show, or was that at like some kind of like, was it by accident that you met into him, or?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like I was just at my table. I had Transformers prints out. Chris just walked by. It was like one of the smaller shows. And he was like, "Oh, I like your stuff. You should submit to us." And he gave me his card, and I got hired to do covers like the next week. It was amazing. Like,
okay. So I wish we had this, but if somebody wanted to go find your first printed stuff at IDW, what would we be looking for?
Yeah, it's actually
I'm going to go on eBay right after this because I got a funny story.
Yeah. It's actually, you can find it pretty easily. It's I did the cover for the Best of Optimus Prime.
The Death of Optimus Prime?
Yeah, the Best of Optimus Prime.
Best of Optimus Prime, okay.
Yeah, which was really cool because it was my favorite character, and I thought maybe this will be the one thing I ever get to draw of Transformers, but I got to draw the character that I love the most. So yeah, and I put my heart and soul into that piece too. It was just like really,
How long ago was that?
That was 2009. So I've been on Transformers about over 10 years now.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Livio's done, guys. I'm just going to throw up some of his covers here. So, of course, there's one of the Transformers that he did. You have Soundwave, and I remember that one, the Infestation, when they had that little crossover between like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Ghostbusters, Mars Attacks. And there was all these like crossovers, and I mean, there's some great stuff that you've put out over the years. And I just kind of want to show some prints that that you've done. If you guys aren't Transformers or G.I. Joe fans, of course there is some Star Wars stuff. So I mean, Darth Vader in Hoth. I mean, this is amazing, flat out amazing.
Thank you.
And then if you guys for you guys Marvel fans, of course we have this print that I've seen Livio sell, Magneto just ripped apart Sentinel, unbelievable. We have another one to show you guys, the Galactus and Silver Surfer. I mean, and a lot of these, and you sell these at conventions, right, Livio?
Yeah, you can buy these prints through me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, favorite Transformer movie? Are we talking live action or everything?
I would say go with anything.
Everything.
I'm gonna say, I mean, obviously the animated movie was like, you can't top that. There's a lot in the first Michael Bay movie that I really do love. I think there's some really amazing action scenes. I think Starscream, anytime Starscream shows up in that movie, I think it's so awesome.
Yeah.
And then
here's a question. Are you biased because you did this on the 30th anniversary cover for the Blu-ray? So are you a little biased? I mean, I love this. So.
No, that was such a trippy experience because like as a kid, my mom had rented that movie for me over and over again. Like I grew up in like a small town in Ohio, so like our store only had one copy of that original VHS from like 1986.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rewatch the same copy a million times. And if someone had rented it, I couldn't get access to it. So like years later doing the cover for it was really trippy. And some of my friends from childhood reached out to me when they saw I did the cover, and because they remembered watching it when we were like, 6 years old. So Yeah, it was
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, me and my brother, we could watch that movie all the time. I mean, we've quoted, I mean, I'm sure you're just like me. You could, from the moment you see Unicron, you can do the entire dialogue for every character.
Right.
You know, any scene, it's just, you could probably write it down. I mean, I've done that times. I mean, I've literally written down the names, the characters, and just the dialogue, like almost my own script, because off the top of my head, because I've watched it so many times. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're going to talk about this, but my favorite scene is when they're about to don Starscream, you know, the new king.
Oh, yeah.
Albatron was falling down, and in, you know, Spock, Leonard Nimoy's voice, he goes, Megatron, is that you? And he goes, here's a hit, Starscream, and just blasts him, right? Like, I mean, that is absolutely epic.
Yeah, that scene's amazing. That's a spectacular death. Yeah.
So what I did want to say, I had some things that I wanted to talk about. That's the soundtrack. Somebody brought that up. That's really cool. So when it comes to Marvel, and you're at shows,
yeah.
Can I ask of like we can talk Marvel, DC. Who Marvel? When somebody comes up to you, who do you say? They say, "Hey, can you do a sketch of who's the most popular?"
Oh, for Marvel, that's a good question. You get a lot of like Doctor Doom, I would say. That would be who I get because I'm known for like machinery and stuff.
Yep.
You know? I think you also, depending what work you're known for, is kind of what your commissions are going to be too. You know, so if you're known, like if you're like a J. Scott Campbell, you probably get a lot more female characters people want commissions of. You know, if you're on Transformers, people tend to want more armored kind of guys.
Right.
Yeah.
The Galactus and the Silver Surfer that you have on your website is just absolutely amazing. I mean,
thanks.
Justin, you got that picture there?
Which one?
The Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Yeah. I mean, we can bring that back up again.
Yeah, no, I just love it because I mean, you've got Galactus in the armor.
Awesome.
You know, you've got Surfer standing there. It looks like some type of planet, but
yeah,
you know, just great. And the colors too, Livio. I mean,
thank you.
You know, when it comes to not only the penciling, right? You've also got to think about colors and tones and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you find most difficult of those? The pencils, the colors?
It depends. It's like some of them you set out to do and you have a really clear idea from the beginning, right? You know, and then other times like you really have no idea what kind of color you're going to make something. So I would say it varies based on which piece you're working on. Like sometimes like the line art's kind of a pain in the ass, but the color is fun. And other times like you just really do not know what color you're going to make something. Like the Galactus one is like a good example because it's like the ruins of an alien planet. It could be any color. It's not like even Earth's atmosphere. So it's like, you know, what do you do? So sometimes you lose your mind with, especially in Photoshop, because like you have unlimited choices. You know, you can immediately change the color of everything to any other color immediately. So yeah, I mean, I think it varies. Some are just easier than others, honestly, like the answer.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. All right.
And speaking of sketches, you know, Livio, we can get into this. I want to kind of show off. You know, I've known you over the past couple of years. I always at least get one sketch per year. So for the guys watching us, I wanted to show off some of the sketches that I've gotten from Livio. Every one better and better each year. You know, this is one of the first ones I ever got from Livio at Awesome Grimlock. This was done at New York Comic Con 2017. You know, just really cool. And this is just, you know, this was just grayscale.
Yeah.
This is just really awesome. And another couple ones just to show off. This is
and you sent them that book ahead of time to sketch?
Yeah. We're going to get into that. And this is probably one of my favorites. And, you know, me and Livio have talked about this. One of my all-time favorite episodes in any Star Wars is Star Wars Rebels, Twilight of the Apprentice, when Ahsoka is fighting Darth Vader. So I had to get this. Ahsoka on the front.
Well, I've never seen that, dude.
Oh, this is amazing. And then on the back,
you've been holding out.
Yeah.
Vader himself.
Yeah.
So, you know, guys, you know, for Livio does a lot of shows. And Livio, what's your first show this year?
C2E2 is the first one.
So, guys, if you guys want to get a, you know, commission from him, what I do every year is like, I contact Livio, and you can contact him on Instagram, on Facebook, and, you know, I ask him what his prices are. Yeah. He tells me all the different styles, and I actually ship these books to him before the show. And Livio, you can kind of go into it as far as, you know, is this the best way? Kind of how many do you take pre-commission? You know, just kind of talk about pre-sketching and sketching at the shows.
Yeah, I would say if you want to commission at a show, it's always good to hit up the artist ahead of time for a couple reasons. One is like it lets us budget our time because you have no idea when you're at a table how many commissions come up, you know, and there are days where you just get absolutely swamped and you can't take any more. So if you were hoping to get something back that weekend, you're just not going to get it. There's no time. So like, you know, especially if you want an elaborate piece, like the Nemesis Prime behind you, the giant one, like anything, especially of that level. Yeah, like that.
Look at that. That is sick.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one we did ahead of time. I had plenty of time to do it at home.
I think this was July. I think I contacted you probably in July, like right after San Diego.
I remember
that is nothing more than Justin sitting in his chair, right? Like that's what that's like. That is him right there, you know?
Yeah, it's like, and then honestly, like the commissions that you do ahead of time, if you want something elaborate, they'll probably turn out better because the artist is like more relaxed and stuff at home. Like if you're at a show and you want a headshot, that's fine. But if you want like a full body, really elaborate, like that's good to set up ahead of time because you honestly never know how many are going to come in at any convention.
Yeah. Right,
and I mean, you're really nice to come up to and talk to, but the opportunity that you're giving us tonight, being able to interview you, I mean, I really don't ever like to bother you at a show because every time I come up to you, if I'm not picking up my sketch, I always see you drawing something. And don't get me wrong, I love to see you when you draw stuff, but I don't ever want to spend more than 5 minutes chatting with you because I know, time is money. At the end of the day, you've traveled there, people want commissions. And like you said, if someone gives you a sketch on a Friday, you want to make sure to maybe get that back by that Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
We do have a couple questions in the live chat.
Sure.
I do see Sith Lordly, who will you be at WonderCon? And if so, both days?
I will. I will be there at WonderCon, I think 3 days. Yeah, Friday through Sunday. So yeah.
Nice.
3 days.
Right, perfect.
I think we have a picture of you one time you and Sith Lordly already met. I think I put that in there somewhere.
Yeah, we threw that up there. I did have another
question.
Yeah. That was a Transformer signing we did. That's Tyler Blazinski, who's writing the new series.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
We got and then we have Burt Family Comics 54. He says, "What's your favorite DC character and favorite Power Ranger?"
I mean, I'm definitely a Batman fan. Like I love Batman, and then the Rogues Gallery. Like I think like Mr. Freeze. Especially
You're definitely a villain guy. You're definitely a villain guy like us. See, that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. And then favorite Power Ranger. I never really got into Power Rangers. Like I've drawn Megazords here and there. I never really. I was like a little old. My brother was into it. I think it was just it hit when I was like a little too old. But I mean, I think now I'd probably love it too. But it just the initial series, like I just didn't watch too much of it. So I think the characters look cool, but I don't know if I have a particular favorite character.
Nice.
And then just regarding sketch covers, kind of going back to that Southern Comic Geek, kind of want to just get an idea, how much you usually charge for a cover. So, I'll show my Grimlock. What would you charge on something like this?
Yeah. So on a sketch cover, it varies because the logo sometimes takes up so much room, So generally a Grimlock like that these days would be about maybe 160, 180. If you want a torso, it'd be like $80, $100, and then head $50.
Well worth it.
Yeah, it varies on how much space you have. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so and again, people can contact you either pre-show, post-show, during the show if they want. But like I said, guys, I recommend contacting Livio before the show. So let's kind of get into your new project.
Love it.
Killlock. Let's kind of start. Where did this project start from? When did you really sit down and really begin just the idea of this character, this world, everything?
Yeah, I think it began. God, at this point, probably like 4 years ago. I started doing really hard work on it. I'd always grown up a science fiction fan, like reading and drawing sci-fi. I really wanted to do my own original series, and I think about 4 years ago, I really kind of started hammering in on this specific concept of, what kind of situation could you get where you would pair characters like super different together, where you'd have like this very like honorable soldier teaming up with like a psychopath, and they'd have to care about each other. Like what would make that happen? So I had that initial concept, and then after that, it was kind of a lot of work, sort of figuring out like the voice of the characters, and then like what the world is going to look like. Because if you do sci-fi, immediately there's like 10 million questions. Like they eat, they drink. Yeah.
There are no humans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're so good about it. It's such a good read because it says there are no humans in this universe or this world. Perfect. Right off the bat. Answer my question. Right there.
Yeah, there's no people, and there's never been people. So yeah.
Nice. And guys, just so you know, tonight with this show, from myself to everybody watching, we're going to be giving away a couple copies of Killlock #1 and #2. I got a couple copies out there. So
HTF.
Basically tonight, if you're in the live chat, we're going to be doing a live drawing at the end, as well as post show. We'll let you know what hashtag to use, and they'll be picking it in about a week. So guys, make sure you stay tuned for that as well. So like you said, you started off the world. I kind of wanted to show the banner with all the different characters. So kind of get into these characters. So there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, people can kind of read this and kind of talk about it, but give us a more in depth
Sure.
thing of each character.
So they come from 4 very different walks of life that they would never normally interact, but because of the nature of what the kill walk is, basically, if you're a criminal, you are linked with 3 other criminals, so that if one of you dies, you all get killed. That's the thing. So
Great.
you had this life before, and now you're sort of stuck with other people you'd never normally deal with. The first one there, the artisan, who used to be kind of one from the higher echelon of their society, is super intelligent, but very kind of morally vapid narcissist. He's sort of the most
Yeah, out of his mind. Psychopath. I love it. He's a psychopath.
Yeah, he's nuts. He's totally nuts.
Yes, I told you. I know this. I figured this out.
And then the laborer there is sort of like the working class. Like, he's sort of looked down on, especially by the artisan. So there's like some natural rivalry, prejudice between them. The wraith is like the big kind of ass kicker. He's like used to being on these like deep space missions and going to these like hellish planets.
Right.
Now, he's not even used to having to like talk and deal with other characters. And that's sort of,
he's, just to give you guys an idea to foreshadow about these characters, Wraith is like, to me, is like, oh my God, from Thor, the huge.
the destroyer. Yeah.
What say it again? What?
The destroyer. Yeah.
The destroyer, jacked up, huge, monstrous to look at. Just a really, really cool character. And when Livio introduces him, you've got to read this, because when Livio introduces him, you just see kind of like his face structure in the panel, and you're like, what is it? I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what is this? And I can see it, and like, you look at a comment, you look at it, and you're like, oh my God, this dude is jacked. So really, really cool. So I would say, Livio, so far in Kill Lock, the Wraith is my favorite character.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I love the Wraith. Yeah. That's good.
Right. And then you have the kid.
Yeah, the kid is sort of this, really doesn't fit in. He's sort of this unfinished model where he was sentenced for being defective in the eyes of society. So the idea is that they're sentencing more and more classes for different things, and he's really kind of thrown in over his head. But that's the 4 main cast. So like, if any one of them dies, they all get killed, and they're on this quest to find the cure so they can kind of unlock from each other.
Okay. And I know you just announced that they're going to be doing the profiles. You have Andrea. Your last name, Dr.
Yeah, Dr. Andrea Letamendi, who's amazing, like written all sorts of cool profiles on DC characters. She's co-host of the Arkham Sessions with Brian Ward. She's a phenomenal psychologist, and she really specializes in, bringing her expertise in real psychology to fictional characters. So, she really understands storytelling, and she really did a deep dive on these characters and wrote some amazing stuff. So if you want an analysis of why kind of a psychopath like the artisan, like what's going on in his mind, she's a perfect guide for it.
Yeah. I think I've read all the Transformers that IDW's put out all the years, and I all these characters I've grown with, since IDW had picked up that project. And I feel like, and this is only 2 issues in, I feel like the artisan is kind of like Swindle.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a bit of that for sure.
He's totally Swindle, but the ability to curse, because I mean, obviously in the Transformers book, nobody curses. But what he says, I think, is great. Like Everett said, I feel like Wraith is almost like the Fallen as a character.
Yeah.
The Labor, I kind of haven't really pinpointed a character from Transformers. Not yet.
Labor would kind of be like Ironhide to me.
Yeah, that's a really good.
Like Ironhide, like his sergeant at arms.
Yeah.
Much of Bumblebee, because Bumblebee would, a little bit on that side, but like a little.
Yeah. And the kid is we're still
say that what Roger just said. Bumblebee would be the youngest one, the kid. Kind of a little bit like that. Anyway, that's just
No, it's funny too, because it's like you sort of make these characters and you're taking in all these influences over the years. And I was even trying to remember the other, because in the way the Wraith too is sort of like Optimus Prime cranked up, of this, like, this moral soldier, but it's much more sort of brutal, but like a good heart,
Right.
And there's all sorts of that. Like I was even thinking, like in the artisan, like even in Star Trek, like lore. Like Data's evil brother.
Absolutely.
A bit of that in the artisan, like the sense.
I love it. We can talk about Star Trek for a while. So I do want to tell you though, I want to just talk. I just want to preface this. So right now, issue 2 came out, this new comic book day, right?
Yes.
So I called 4 local stores, right, within like a 30-mile radius, all sold out of issue number.
That's great. That's great to hear. Thank you.
I had to go. No, it's unbelievable. And I had to go and reach out to these guys who use a lot of the websites. I don't use those sites. It's like an inner story, but they're just like, go online. So I actually almost called a store in Jersey from Connecticut to see if they had it, Zap Comics. But I went on Midtown, and when I was on Midtown, I ordered actually 3 of them. But it was funny because something I don't use these sites a lot, so a little technological disabled when it comes to it. I clicked on something and then it said 0 available. 0 available.
Oh wow!
All I'm thinking is that like your book is just selling out.
No, dude, that would be amazing. I honestly have no idea because the nature of you have pre-orders and then you have the just impulsive orders and word of mouth. So with publishing, you won't know for a couple months how well it's sort of done.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's like you sort of see the numbers on a quarterly basis. Like I wish you could just sign into Comixology and see today, but it doesn't really work that way.
Now, for Kill Lock, you have it up to how many issues, and did you already think about it? Is it done, or are you writing as you go?
No, it's totally finished. It's 6 issues. I wrote and drew it all. It was all lettered before IDW even greenlit it. So
wow.
Yeah. So it was all. So I handed him 6 issues, and I was like, "Do you want to print this?" And thankfully, they said yes. So.
Nice. We got a question. Bernie 1869, who's one of another 3 Men in the Basement, couldn't make it tonight. He says, "Do you like writing or drawing better?"
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good question. The writing has been really, really fun because there's always this joke of like the writer can write like gigantic army of robots shows up. And that takes like 10 seconds. Then an artist has to spend hours drawing that. So, there's always the trade-off. Like I've really enjoyed the writing because it's newer to me, But it's funny because like even with something that I'm writing and drawing, like you have to like stick to a page count. So you still cut out scenes that like you really wanted to put in there. You just don't have the space. So yeah. So I mean, it's a good question. I mean, on this project, maybe the writing more because it's like it's just been such a blast, like kind of seeing these characters evolve.
So when you wrote this story, did you already have it? Okay, this is book 1, this is book 2, or did you have a complete story and they said, "Oh, we're going to take that story and do 15 pages per book and make it complete"?
No, this is how far back this series started because every issue is 22 pages, and that's what Transformers used to be. So I just I just did that based on that model. Okay. Then eventually got cut down to 20 pages. So that shows how far back I started it. So it was slotted to be 22 pages. And then there's issue 5 is longer because there's this huge kind of Wraith fight scene. And I wanted that to have some impact.
Nice. We're going to get a full panel. We're going to get like a 2-pager.
I don't want to spoil it, but there's some good action.
Good. That's a good foreshadowing. I like that.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
You heard it on 300 Basement.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the initial first issue, when you open up past page 1, that spread shot, full page splash page of the artisan and just the background of that snow planet and like that skull looking thing. Yeah. I mean, that blew me away, right? No words, just all that background, the planet, and and you've done great splash pages in the past with Transformers. I mean, we can even talk about kind of veer off from the Kill Lock, but you're also doing the art on the whole Transformers Galaxy, which you could talk about that as far as what the storyline is. I mean, I know you're not writing it, but how much fun are you enjoying that with the Constructicons? Because that's my favorite combiner.
Mine too. My favorite combiner as well. Yeah, that series has been a blast. I think Tyler Blazinski, he's had this story in his mind forever. He's wanted to tell, and it's a really beautiful story. The idea is that it's pre-Autobot Decepticon, so there's no war yet, and the Constructicons are this sort of abused class where they got to build this beautiful city of Icon and they didn't get to live there, So as soon as they finish this masterpiece, they get exiled to this moon and then they have to start building that. So it's just such a great visual of them like in the mud after they work a hard day and they look at this planet they used to live on and they just want to live on something they built, like a really pure vision,
Right.
So that's
it's like they're so down on themselves.
Yeah.
Realize like how powerful they are.
Yeah.
And they've been just so beaten down as far as like work. And the discourse, the conversations between all of them, it's like something when you're having a conversation with, hey man, 4 days at work, 5 days at work, real rough. It's very realistic. And the way you draw the art and the way they're talking in the circles is just amazing. So I'm enjoying this too, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I can tease if you're enjoying that issue 4, which got delayed. I'm not sure why the publishing got delayed of it, but that is definitely going to deliver the Devastator that you've been wanting to see.
Right.
Like, like issue 2 is meant to be the slow buildup, and then it's a shame 4 got delayed because that was meant to be this, it will be this big sort of finale to it. So
I thought 4 actually came in the reason I thought the delay was because you were doing Killlock at the same
No.
time, and they didn't want to like put out all these books, done by you.
No. I want it. Yeah, no, I finished my part way on time. Yeah, I don't know what the delay is. Yeah.
Anything you're working on in the future? Anything you can talk about at all? Or
I am working on stuff I can't really talk about though.
all right, so there is new stuff coming.
There is stuff coming. Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely.
From a Transformer standpoint, Livio, do you like doing the mini series more than if someone just says, "Can you do this story arc or this long run?" Because I know you've done Monstrosity, you've done Supremacy for Transformers.
Yeah, I definitely like doing a self-contained thing more. If it's just like Constructicons Rising is a four issue story, kind of in and out, and I love that. Or the mini series, anything that becomes a trade that you can really just read that and that's all you need. I like that much more than just jumping in and doing like a story here or there.
So as far as Transformers characters, is there one that you haven't drawn that you want to draw, or have you really drawn everyone probably under the sun? I mean, there's commission actually in comic form.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's 10 billion Transformers.
Yeah.
But in terms of favorites of mine, this Constructicon Devastator story is one of the last big, in terms of my favorite characters, like one I really wanted to get to on my list. So let's do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Insecticons? Anybody ever ask about Insecticons?
They're in there.
Oh, they're in the current Galaxy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But as far as commissions, does anybody say? Hey,
Actually, I was in a Comic-Con in Tokyo last month, or like 2 months ago. Yeah, and they did some Insecticons there.
Nice. So
we can talk about that. Yeah. So
let's talk about that right now. Livio, great segue, buddy. Great segue. All right. So
go ahead. You want to go ahead or me? I'll do it. So, obviously everybody, goes to conventions. They know about all the big ones, New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, C2E2, which is your first con, all across the country. But, I've been following you on Instagram and Facebook, and you post pictures. You are really big out in, out in Asia, out in Japan. Talk about those shows, for people that don't know that, these Comic Cons do exist outside of the United States, and they're big out in that continent.
Yeah, it's amazing these days. God, it's like I think every major city on Earth at this point has a Comic-Con. So, I never thought drawing for a living would let me travel the world, because it's such a quiet, you're drawing in a room life. But then the flip side is you get to, I've been to Dubai, I've been to China, Japan, Australia, there's Comic-Cons everywhere. And the cool thing is you find, for as different as the cities are, the fans and what they love is very similar. It's cosplay, it's collecting comics, it's toys. It doesn't feel that different, no matter where you go. I went to Dubai and there was Deadpool and Harley Quinn cosplayers. It was exactly what you see, anywhere. So and then there's certain things that are more popular. In when you do a Tokyo show, you see a lot of Attack on Titan. That's obviously
Attack on Titan, right.
Yeah, but it's amazing. The fans are great, all over the world. So yeah.
Cool. New York Comic Con, do you go to that?
Yeah, every year. I'll be there this year.
Every year, all right, okay.
Yep.
I wonder if different areas, different commissions. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say that. On the West Coast, do they want more Transformers? On the East Coast, do you want more Star Wars stuff, or is it just embedded in the geek culture, so it's all over the place?
Yeah, I noticed, especially in Japan, they tend to want more obscure Transformers. So
really,
yeah, you get less Optimus Prime and Megatron, which is what you get in the US a lot of times. But in Japan, they almost pride themselves, a lot of fans, on wanting a character that's almost never been drawn, because then they have something kind of unique. So, and China was like that too. In the US, I don't know if it's more a region thing, although I have noticed that bigger cities, wealthier cities, tend to want more original art as opposed to prints and stuff.
Right. I get it.
The money. So Dubai, for example, a lot of original art sales there because it's a very wealthy population.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
So we get a question in the live chat.
Sure.
Dave in the Cave wants to know, what's your favorite con that you've been to?
Every year I go to Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle, and I just really love that convention. I think the convention itself is really well run, and the city's beautiful. Seattle's just a fun place to hang out. That's probably my favorite annual, although I like New York and San Diego too. I think going to the Dubai Comic Con was so crazy because I just never thought drawing Transformers would take me to that part of the world.
Right.
I had this insane story happen when I was over there where I got a random, after I did the convention, I got a random Facebook friend request from a complete stranger who was like, she lived and worked in the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building on Earth, the spire that Tom Cruise climbed up. And she was saying, you know, she's like, I'm a Transformers fan. If you have time on your trip, I'd love to give you a private tour of the Burj Khalifa. Wow. And I was like, oh my God, like I never expected, like, you know, Transformers. I remember like kind of vetting, like looking that we had mutual friends to make sure this was real. Yeah. And it worked out, and I got to tour the Burj Khalifa. Like I drank at the tallest bar on Earth, which is
my God, dude!
It was like 100
I mean, that's like a life. Check that off your life goal, man.
Yeah. So that was really, really amazing because that was like, I mean, I just never thought drawing would lead to some kind of experience like that. You know,
right?
That was really cool.
So now you've been working for IDW for over 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, do you aspire to maybe branch out and get into Image or Marvel or DC? Like, I'm sure those guys know you. I mean, you know, obviously Jim Lee's with DC, and you know he helped you get into this whole environment of, you know, being into IDW. So do you know, are you looking to maybe branch out, or, you know, or do you, and I know IDW is a great company.
Sure.
Are you kind of like I guess like a free agent, or do you have like a signed contract that IDW is the only place you can go?
No. Like generally, I mean, there are some exclusives in comics. Generally, you're sort of like able to take the work you want, you know, like you're like a full-time freelancer. But I mean, I would be down to do Marvel DC stuff. Even working on the Killock, I've really become interested in doing more original stories, you know. I think that's sort of kind of where my passion is now, is like more original sort of science fiction stuff would be really awesome. Like I'd love to do Spider-Man or Batman or something, but I think like these days I just feel more interested in just the kind of the freedom and how rewarding it is to do your own characters. Like I really like it. So
and I think that's definitely a big change in comics today. I mean, when I was growing up, and I'm sure Everett and Roger, you know, all we had were DC, Marvel, you know, and then really when Image came out, you know, they had that creator own, but I really don't think it hit real big until like the 2000s with like Walking Dead, and you have like Saga and all these other big things. And I think even for me, I mean, I've transitioned away from a lot of some of the Marvel and DC stuff to this creator own. So, I mean, something like Killock, I mean, obviously it's done by you, but I mean, it's something that I would have picked up because I mean, I'm a big mech guy. I mean, I've watched all the Transformer movies. As far as anime, Gundam is my favorite anime of all time. So it really would, whether it was you or anybody else, it would have driven me to that. And like you said, I think that's great that you want to do more creator own stuff. And obviously if you have something in the works and you can't talk about it, we understand. Right. But that's really good that you do have that opportunity. And
you know what, awesome. You know what I think is really cool when we're talking about, you know, certain things that we all like, you know, typically 3-minute debates, we're talking about new comic books, superheroes, you know what I mean? But what's really cool is we're all talking about bots right now, right?
Yeah.
Giant destroy, Rod? Yeah. Giant destroying bots now. Transform, change, blow stuff up. You know what I mean? And I think that is such a great paradigm shift when we talk, you know, comic books and superheroes. Now we have these other characters who we all view as, you know, villains and superheroes, you know, like, to me, Optimus Prime, a number one general, you know, a leader. Like if I saw Optimus Prime and he said, Otto, I need your help, run into this army with me, you know what I'm going to say? Yes, I will. Of course, It's the president. And, you know, if Megatron came up to me and said, give me your lunch money, absolutely, dude. Take it, you know? So I think it's just really cool how, you know, our love for bots and robots and stuff like this has turned into, you know, this conversation in general, right, Raj? It's pretty, you know.
I mean, I also think that the Transformers, I mean, a lot of people who don't read comics know who Batman and Superman are. And I think Transformers is really the only other one that translates from comics to the shows or pop culture, I would say. Right. People who don't actually read the stories.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, guys, we're going to do a little giveaway right now for everyone in the live chat. And don't answer this, Livio, unless if you are watching the live chat, don't say it after I ask it. But if you guys have been watching since the beginning, and we're going to be giving away one copy right now of the Killock 1. What was Livio's favorite Transformer? And if you guys will take a couple seconds to get that, and whoever gets it right on the first time, we will give you a copy of the Killock number 1. And you know, I'll be watching the live chat on that. Yeah. So you know, just to kind of transition back into your, you know, your IDW stuff, are you looking to do more obviously you said you'd like to do the creator-owned stuff. Is there anything kind of upcoming with? I know like Transformers kind of like ends and continues all the time. Do you have anything that's maybe in the works with the ongoing series right now?
I just finished Galaxies a couple months ago. You know, that was like 4 issues back to back. I kind of tend to like take breaks here, and there you go, got it.
There you go. Congrats, Sith Lordly.
Congrats.
DM us after the show, and I will get that out to you. Hit me up on IG, and we'll definitely send that out to you for issue 1.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, like there's talk of doing other stuff. Like I really want to kind of focus on creator-owned stuff right now. I mean, I love Transformers. I would love to come back. I actually got to do, it hasn't been shown yet, but I got to do Transformers versus Terminator. So
I just saw that got announced. Yes.
Yeah. So I got to do a cover for that, which is a blast. I'm a big Terminator fan. So yeah, like I mean, it depends. I mean, there's always, if it's a good story, I'm always happy to jump in. You know, like that's what Galaxies was. So
I have a question right now.
Sure.
If you take any genre, let's say Star Trek, Bionic Man, Terminator, Transformers, not to bring them up. Anybody, is there a group that you would love to say, like whether it's like He-Man or like Silverhawks? I mean, I'm really digging deep. Gargoyles, like something that you would just want to be like, I could do this, and this would be a lot of fun to do.
I think for me, RoboCop.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I think like,
with a big gut, blow stuff up.
Yeah, I can't
alive.
Coming with me.
Right over here, I have a whole Hot Toys case of ED209, RoboCop. Everything's right here. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be my dream. I mean, I love like that universe so much. So
right, and that is a universe that a lot of people don't really talk about.
That's funny.
And 209.
Yeah, you come down.
They couldn't walk downstairs.
That's not where I thought you were going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's worth $2 billion. You can't walk downstairs.
Yeah,
for $1. Southern Comic Geek.
Oh my god. So how many shows, we got C2E2, how many shows do you have planned this year? Like, are you already booked? I'm not doing any more shows.
I mean, a lot of the big ones are locked in. There's always ones that pop up that just sound super fun, like I did like a couple last year, like sort of last minute. I decided, like, I did about 20 shows last year, so that was a lot. I'll probably do less this year, but we'll see. I mean, there's definitely still some kind of up in the air of like, you also get tired too. Like last
right. I want to ask, are you definitely in for Baltimore?
Yeah, I would love to come back. Like, I'm not sure 100% on that one, but that was my first time doing it last year, and I loved it.
Yeah, me too, man. I love that show. It was a lot of fun. Justin convinced me to go in, and first time I was there, and
it's very comic oriented. And I mean, you've been to all the big shows, so San Diego, New York. Those are the big, like, more entertainment than comics.
Yeah.
Baltimore, I'm sure C2E2 is very comic oriented. I've never been out to the West Coast, so something like Emerald City. I mean, is that more entertainment, or is it more comic? Or
Emerald City is a great mix. Yeah, so it's got the celebrity entertainment stuff, but it also has a really great artist alley, and they put their artist alley on its own separate floor. So it's kind of like New York. Yeah, so like they do a great job with it. Like Emerald City is fantastic. Like it's definitely in the artist alley there is really, really well run. So yeah.
What's your favorite artist alley you've ever been to?
It might be Emerald City. Yeah, just because I mean, that one's really good. Like I mean, I'm lucky California has access to like WonderCon, San Diego, so that's nice. Yeah, it depends. I haven't been to C2 in a couple years now, so I got to see how it compares. But I did Denver Comic-Con last year. Denver was really well run.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
So, Livio, obviously you're definitely embedded in the geek culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No doubt about that. But when you're at the shows, is there anybody that you see that you're like, you geek out a little bit about, like maybe somebody who influenced you or somebody that you thought was really cool, or like you see everybody all the time, so it's just like business as usual?
I mean, it's sort of both. Like, there's people I see that I would love to talk to, but I also know from having met them before or met other people that they're so busy that you saying like, "Oh, I love your work," like, I know how they won't even remember that interaction.
Gotcha.
So it's like if I go up to someone I really love now, I try and think of something new.
Okay.
But it's I don't know. It's funny. Like, it's a lot of the times too. It's like you know how busy they are, so you just feel like I don't want to bother them.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
It's funny. When I met Stan Lee in Providence, Rhode Island, it was just 3 hours long. It was a huge, like, just cattle call, and unless you're a pretty girl or a young kid, he really wasn't picking up his head. So I got my book, my Captain America 110, and I've got Steranko already signed it. Joe Sinnott signed it. And this is the truth, and I meant it when I said it. As my book is going in front of Stan, I looked at Stan and I said, Mr. Lee, and he didn't pick up. I go, I want to thank you very much because it's you, because I know how to read. And I grabbed his hand and I go, and my name's Everett Hillman. And I just went on my way. But that was my 2 minutes of fame that I, didn't take that picture.
Didn't take the hand sanitizer.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Anybody that you would like to meet at these shows that you can't, or was there?
Well, I'll tell you a great story of someone I did meet that was really ridiculous. I was at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years ago, and I was just at my Artist Alley table, and down the hall, I can see Guillermo del Toro walk in, and
really?
he walks right to my table. So and there's this entourage because he's been recognized now. There's people behind him taking photos of him, and so I'm trying to awkwardly, because he's looking through my and stuff, and I'm a huge fan of his. So I was trying to awkwardly be like, I'm a fan of your work. Can I give you any prints? But that was really cool because he walked up to me and he took my business card, and that meant a lot. Because I was that Wesley Snipes came up to me at a show one time, which was really cool. Yeah. It's always you never expect. It's such an odd, but but God, there's so many I'd like to meet.
Have you ever been asked to do a movie poster? I mean, other than the Transformers thing, has anyone ever?
Nothing major. I mean, I've done some indie kind of stuff, but never any huge. I mean, these days those posters too are all kind of photo of the main cast,
Right.
That unfortunately the illustrated poster thing is for Blu-rays or something. It's not for the main anymore, but I would be down for it. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Do you bring? And this is maybe because I don't ever notice it at New York when I come and see you, but do you, for people in the live chat and people that are watching us on the rewind, do you bring your original art to sell?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I kind of tailor that based on the show. If I know it
and all that.
Say what?
You have to travel with all that, pack it up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the worst. Is
your banners and everything. I was just thinking about that. Your whole setup, man. You must have had to mail with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you're not driving,
dude. It's horrible. That. When you fly to New York or something from the West Coast, and you're paying $150 baggage fee because your thing's overweight. I mean, it's just. Yeah, it's a nightmare carrying all that shit. But yeah.
The struggle's real, brother.
Yeah.
The struggle is definitely real.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you got the big shows coming up. Tokyo was a blast. C2E2, just really
Terrificon.
Really cool.
You really should come to Terrificon.
Yeah.
Remit will show you a good time.
Dude, I mean, a Comic-Con that's in a casino is right up my alley. That.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they suckered me in 2 years ago, Livio, and it's a different feeling. And I mean, I haven't been nowhere near what you've been to, but for just a comic collector going to conventions, and I've been to C2E2, I've been up and down the East Coast with Baltimore, New York, here in Jersey, Philly. I never experienced anything. I'm sure San Diego is it's its own animal, but the fact that you stay in a hotel it's just right there. It's just you walk. Yeah. I mean, I walked in and I saw artists and writers at the casino tables.
Nice. That's really cool.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we're in the hallway where Roy Thomas is our best friend in the lounge.
Sure.
I mean, Holden is sitting
we did a. I don't know if he knows this, but we did a live show from our hotel floor.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the show, Tom King came walking by.
Oh wow!
And Everett, because he just got off the elevator, and Everett's like, "Hey, did you go to the con?" And there's Justin going, "That's Tom King."
Yeah.
And he sat with us for 20 minutes and talked on our live YouTube show.
God, that's the shows where the con is attached to the hotel. Those are always so fun because everyone's in the bar afterwards.
Totally, right? That's for sure, right? That's the industry. That's I mean, if there's a bar attached to the hotel, once you get done from your show, you're going for whether it's for your libations or your food.
Yeah,
you're not going outside of the building, right? Unless it's
there's a couple good Transformers cons I've been to. I've been to Auto Assembly, which is TF Nation now, and then also TF. That's in England, and then TFCon is in Toronto. But those are also ones where the hotel hosts everyone, and then there's a bar. You literally are at your table, then go get a drink at the bar and go right back to your table. And it's this sort of party vibe is really great. The fans are amazing. It's sort of the family aspect of it is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So,
speaking of TIFFCon, are you? And I know it's not. It hasn't happened yet for 2020. Are you going to
Which one?
TIFFCon?
Yeah, there's a couple. So like TFCon has US shows now and Canadian shows. So yeah, I'm actually going to TFCon Orlando in February or in March for the first time. So
okay,
yeah.
And can you kind of tell us about that? I mean, for being a Transformers fan, I've never been to. I know you were there one year with my friend Abraham. I think he stayed with you guys, Abraham Machado. This is going back this is like 5 or 6 years ago.
I don't know if he stayed with us. I mean, he might have been in the hotel. I mean, we all stay in the same big. Yeah.
But,
I mean, maybe you're all drunk. He could have been there the whole time.
But I mean, I've never been to something like that. I mean, what kind of show that? Because obviously that's just Transformers. So
it's solid Transformers. So it's a blast because it's like, you know, the toy dealer rooms are just filled with just mostly Transformers. And then like usually a lot of the IDW artists go. So, you know, we don't all go to the same shows, but if you go to a specific Transformers convention, you'll see a lot of us together. So if you want all your books signed, it's a good opportunity for that.
So I know you haven't really worked with, but like Andrew Griffith is another Transformer artist, and I know you guys are friends.
Yeah, we room together all the time. Like usually when I go to Japan, we room together. So, yeah.
Anything that you guys are working on? You know, I'm Andrew's always up and down with, you know, the Transformer stuff with either, I mean, it was like Lost Light and then Optimus and the ongoing and
yeah, he's doing another arc on Galaxies coming up, and then also he just launched the Kickstarter that I did a cover for. He and Brandon Easton are doing this book called Dominion's Light.
I'm so glad you said that because that's where I was going to go with that.
Yeah. Yes, I did that cover for Warren. But yeah,
I saw the cover. It's a lizard, right? It's like a lizard warrior character.
Yeah. It's one of them. He's called Hemirius Rex. So that's one of the main characters. So.
Is that your first Kickstarter, or have you done other ones? Or
I mean, I'm not even involved in the Kickstarter. I just did it. It's their book, you know. So I one of the rewards was me and Alex Milne are each doing a cover. It's just kind of like Andrew did a pinup for Killlock. So you just you do these favors for each other too, which is cool.
I want to talk about that. Your pinups.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And you know what? This is so. If you guys know me, I'm a classic collector, a Bronze Age, Silver Age collector. When I was a kid or when I bought the older books, the pinups were phenomenal, right? The Ditko pinups, the John Byrne stuff. So at the end of your book, you've got some great pinups, like right there. Like you've got Wraith, you've got Jeremy Waltman did one right here. This is phenomenal.
Yeah. Albert. I tried to spread out kind of who did the pinups. So some are like professional Transformers artists I know. Some are friends I went to grad school with. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a whole mix. Like Jeremy Waltman's one of my oldest friends. So he's a filmmaker. So it was kind of cool too, because you work with your friends on these projects since you're a kid, and it's cool to have still have the same people involved.
Right.
Yeah.
I ask you about as an artist having somebody cover your work, right? Like when I'm a fan of music, obviously we're all fans of music and stuff like that. But when I hear other bands cover other songs, I just love it. You know what I mean? Like Whole Lotta Rosie covered by The Offspring. It's just phenomenal. In my opinion, So to see your stuff done by other artists, man, it must be satisfying to you, right? Like
it's really cool, because the Killlock characters didn't exist before. It's not like we all did Spider-Man pinups. It's like these characters came out of nowhere. So starting to see the pinups come in and other people like really create some beautiful pieces. It sort of feel like it legitimizes the characters a bit too.
Will you have one in every Killlock book?
There's one in every book except issue 5, just because it's wall-to-wall story and art. Yeah, but every other issue has pinups, and then it has psychological profiles that start in issue 3.
Nice. Okay, I was reading that. That was pretty wild.
Yeah. So that'd be cool. Yeah.
All right.
So we've been rocking it for about an hour. Everett, do you have any other questions for Livio?
Oh, Livio, I mean, if anybody wanted to find you, are you everywhere on social media? Where are you?
I am. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Twitter. Instagram's probably the most active for me. That's where I upload the most art. But Twitter, I'm also on. Just my name, Livio Ramondelli. If you would like a commission, you can go to my website. You can send me a direct message on any of those, and happy to ship it out to you if you can't make it to a convention.
Right.
Cool. And guys, like I said, I have another copy. I have 2 more copies of Killlock 1 and 2. Once this video ends, comment on it with the hashtag #TheKilllock, and we'll be doing a randomizer, and 2 people will be winning the first 2 issues of The Kill Lock from IDW from our guest Livio Ramondelli. Livio, for myself, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, I usually only speak with you for a few minutes, so this hour that we got to conversate back and forth is just great. Over the past years, all the commissions that you've done for me, all the ones that you'll be doing this year in 2020, I want to thank you so much.
I can't wait for my Shockwave 3MIB. Livio, we can't put they're all dead though. That was so we're gonna have to change that up a little bit when we talk about it. Okay.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you. I really appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it, man. This has been phenomenal.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So at 3 Men in the Basement, we've got a few things coming up, going on in the next couple of months. So it's pretty good. Yeah. So we do have our next live show, which will be, Justin, when?
February 7th.
February 7th. That's right. We're going to do 2 shows that month, just so you guys know. Also, maybe this weekend, Shortbox Bernie got a lot of CGC books. We might be doing a pop-up CGC reveal, so stay tuned for that on our channel. We also have a swap going on, right, Raj?
We have a swap February 29th at Frenchie's Bar in New Jersey, in Roselle, New Jersey, near Justin.
Right.
Yep. We've had a couple here in Connecticut that were successful, so we decided to take it on the road. It's going to be a good time.
Right. And Justin's been doing a lot of the planning for that. He's been our connection down there.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing we're hopefully be doing a live show that weekend. We'll also be doing at the swap itself. So what the swap itself is, as you guys know, and just to reiterate, it's just to bring all of us together in the East Coast who don't want to put their stuff on eBay, who might want to have some books to trade, or just want to get together with like-minded people.
Sure.
So
good time, talk.
We always do a giveaway. We always do some type of trivia. We're going to have stuff to set up, and Justin's kind of been driving forces because it's in his backyard. So
swag.
Yep. So Justin, what else? What am I missing here?
Well, we're going to be debuting a brand new 3 Men in the Basement merchandise.
That's right.
Little tease there. I don't want to give it away yet, but it's in process. So we're going to be doing some new merchandise other than these shirts that will be for sale. So I'm excited for that.
I want one of those.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you out.
Bad planning by me, man. Bad planning. I'll get one out to you. So at the next show I see you at. So.
Nice.
That's it, guy. I do have a video dropping next week. I did a room tour, so that'll be dropping. So you guys will be seeing the whole what's going on here in Nemesis Prime's man cave. I got to come up with a name. Like Otto's got the Grotto.
Right.
I'm thinking like Hall of the Primes. For Nemesis Prime, something like that. So guys, thank you so much. Everett, kind of sign us out. Livio, thank you again so much. And everybody, again, after the video post, hashtag the kill lock, and we'll be doing a drawing for issues 1 and 2, and I'll be sending them to you about a week.
A live video of me cracking my Teen Titans 12.
We've got a big story behind it.
And I'm going to be sending that Teen Titans 12 back into CGC. And when I come back at 9/8, we're going to expose them.
Exactly. We have a huge conspiracy theory going on.
Yep.
We've been talking about it this past couple of days. So watch out for a video for that. Mutant Monday is dropping. So on behalf of all the 3 Men in the Basement, I am Everett Otto. This is Roger Levesque, Bernie 1869, Nemesis Prime. Our special guest, Livio Ramondelli. Thank you very much for watching.
Really appreciate it, man.
We are out.
Go blue.